name's Popp here, Redonkulous.com, with another episode from the Lair. And where we left off last time, we're talking about some ghost shit, so we're gonna continue on. Now these might jump around. We're gonna go forward to when I was at Abu Ghraib prison. I served as the basically the NCOIC for security for the entire base, the Master Sergeant for Ops Sergeant for Company F425 Airborne Infantry, and the First Sergeant for Company F425 Lurus Infantry. Now, this is going to sound weird, but where we lived in Abu Ghraib prison, we lived where they housed all the political prisoners, which were treated the worst. Every room had a hook in the ceiling, and from what I gathered when I asked about those to some of the S2 people who had all the intel on the prison and what was going around it, that they would keep these people in the room packed in there like sardines. They just like tortured them and beat them all day long, and they would leave like 2 or 3 ropes in the room so they could take turns. Whoever wanted to kill themselves, they could take turns hanging themselves. And this, they'd come in the morning, there'd be 4 or 5 people stacked up like cordwood. And this happened, and there was a hook in virtually every fucking room in that prison, at least that cell block. I didn't look in the other cell blocks. All I knew was mine. Now when we got there, also in the back, they had a wood chipping machine. Now I don't know what the fuck you need a wood chipping machine in the middle of the fucking desert. Alright? Well, actually I do know what you need it for, and it's nothing fucking good. There were parts of that prison that were literally walled off. They put up plywood. They just said, fuck it, this is too fucked up. They're not even going to clean it. Where there's like blood 6 to 8 inches deep on the ground, brains, just fucking, it was like it was a fucking rancid fucking kill house. That's the environment we lived in. Now, when we first got there was no furniture, there wasn't fucking nothing. We had like cots, that's it. So, one of the first platoon was living in the 2nd story, a cell block towards the back, and we didn't have lights that worked at that time. Yeah, no, we didn't have the lights put in yet. There was no electricity. So if you wanted to use the piss or shitter, you had to go out the back exit, down a row of stairs, out into the courtyard, across there, and then there were some porta potties and whatever, the fucking nasty shit shacks that they used. So I think we were there maybe 8 days. 8 days. It's like somewhere 1 to 3 in the morning, I don't remember. And all of a sudden the lights come on, and they're like, all right, everybody up, there's a kid in here. And so everyone's like flipping over boxes, like looking for this fucking kid. And I remember the soldier's name, but apparently he was walking down to use the fucking pisser, and a kid came around the corner and walked right by him in the darkness. Okay, and you can see it because they usually put chem lights up there. They weren't super bright, but they were bright enough so you can see this fucking stairs while you're going down that dark stairwell. So he comes up there, and everyone's freaked out that we have a fucking kid running around. There's no kid to be had. There's no way that kid got past him. There's nowhere for that kid to hide. There was nothing up there but bunks, some cots, duffel bags, and boxes. That's fucking it. There's nowhere to fucking hide. The same thing happened while I was there in the same area that I remember that I was present for 3 times. 3 times, same MO, very similar to the first story. The second time, the guy who was sleeping right by the entrance to down the stairs to use the fucking porta shitter saw the kid walk right by the end of his bunk. He's like, whoa, and then the kid was gone. He flips on the light. Kid's back in here. Oh my god! Everybody's freaking out, and we knew what it was by then. Okay, we knew it was a fucking ghost. Let's see. He saw it. There was another guy that saw it at the same time. The guy who saw it going down the stairs, and we had a couple other guys see the kid walking around in the area. Was it the courtyard area? A couple times, between then and there. So finally, it happened again towards the end. I want to say this. We've been like 6-7 months. Again, lights come on 3 in the morning. Kid's back. Everyone's like freaking out. Listen, I'm not going to do an hour and a half of all of this hand holding and other fucking bullshit. I'm done. All right, we've been in a combat zone for like 6 months, getting mortared 3 to 5 times a fucking day. It's a real fucking deal. So I step out there. I'm like, all right, kid's dead. It's a ghost. Suck it up. He's already dead. He can't hurt you. Quit your goddamn crying. I turned the fucking lights off. And I remember just before I turned them off, the guy who was staying in the bunk, he had this look on his face like, because he had to go back to sleep right by the entrance where the ghost kid walks in and out. So we moved him the next day, but you know, that was still pretty funny. Another weird thing, people had digital cameras. I mean, a lot of people had digital cameras. They're not as good as they are now. We're talking like, you know, a 4 meg picture was considered good back then. That was like 2004. A lot of people had 2 megs, 3 megs, whatever. But people were taking pictures, and we were getting this fucking insane amount of fucking orbs. All right. Yeah, I know you're like, fucking orbs could be dust, whatever. Yeah, but when the guy takes a little movie, and you see the orb, you know, come up the fucking stairs, and then go out, and then go back. I mean, come on. Okay, and it wasn't like this little. It wasn't like a little tiny speck of light. It was like it looked like a ball of gas the size of a, I don't know, softball, and it was like rotating in 2 halves, and it moved around on its own. There's no fucking way. Of course, nobody saw that when they took the movie. You can't see with the naked eye, but it was fucking crazy. And then one day, just for shits and giggles, I had one of those binos. You put in a little SIM card, and then you could take fucking pictures digitally and store them on your computer. Well, I dialed it down to 0 power. It's the middle of the day. You know, no one is in the fucking room. I just take a picture. You know, I can't see it immediately on the screen. I have to download it on my laptop at the time. So that evening I downloaded it, and there were hundreds, if not thousands, of orbs. Now I showed them some people, oh, those are dust particles. I don't know. I'll try to dig that picture up and or one similar to it if I can, and let you guys take a guess for yourself. But all I know is every fucking day I hung out in that place, my fucking skin crawled, my hair stood on its end, I fucking had a low-grade nausea. That place just fucking sucked balls. Alright, we're gonna go on. Now, inside the walls of Abu Ghraib prison, there was basically 4 large cell blocks. The footprint of the actual prison was huge. Huge. It was basically 1.25 miles from, if you walked from one wall to the next. I mean, it was huge. Now, towards the back, there was a higher water table, and we had a problem with standing water, and then the Hajis would take the shit out of the shitters and then go dump them on the other side of the fucking post, inside the walls. It was fucking horrible. It was causing a bit of a health issue. So apparently they got the Seabees out there to try to work something out to take care of the drainage. And they basically came out with one of the bulldozers, and they went across, and they basically took the top 2 feet off of the ground, and while doing so, they uncapped a mass grave. The numbers were anywhere between 1,800 to 2,100 people were recently buried in there. Like, I'm talking, I don't know, 6 months before the invasion started, so they've only been in the dirt maybe a year and a half tops. But it's that wet, stinky, nasty soil, so it just fucked them up. And the dirt that they'd pushed up against the wall, you know, was full of hand bones and fingers and, you know, shoes and rags of all types. It just smelled to high heaven. It was just, I mean, why I don't have anthrax, I have no fucking clue. And that really fucked with me really bad too. Now, I didn't really see anything crazy happen around that fucking area, but after they took the top off of that thing, things got worse in the environment around the prison. And I'm not talking about the stink or whatever. I'm just the fucking, it just felt much worse. Like you always had somebody staring at you and all kinds of other crazy ass shit. But all I could say is that fucking that place brings back some fucked up memories, man. Because I have no idea how one human being could be that fucking miserable to another. I don't know. I mean, if you just kill them. If that's what you got to do. I mean, torturing them and making them suffer like that is just fucking crazy. Okay, I think that's it for this one. All right, you guys, take it easy.